Are you a home or hobby gunsmith and you're looking for a hammer set to work on your guns? Let me show you the set that's probably going to replace my go-to hammer. If you've ever watched my disassembly and reassembly videos, you'll see that my go-to hammer is this 8-ounce ball peen hammer. And when I'm working with pins and stuff like that I'm afraid that I'm going to mar up the surface, I'll use this nylon and brass-headed hammer. But Wheeler Engineering sent me a hammer set that I think is going to replace both these hammers. Let's take a look at the features right here on the bench. You can see this comes with a pretty decent case here, and these do snap in with some authority. Now, this hammer is currently set up with a brass and a steel head. I've been using it for different things around the shop, but you're going to see it premiere in the Beretta 85 frame disassembly video. And I've been using the brass and the steel exclusively for that because I'm moving a lot of pins. Now, the nice thing about this hammer is that you can change these heads out. I can take that steel one out and put in this nylon head. And now I have my brass and nylon for different punches that I'm working with if I'm working on the surface of a gun and I want to protect the finish. But the other thing that I really like about this, and you can hear those things snap in pretty good, is this other black head in here is actually a rubber head. It's a mallet. The nylon works good, but sometimes you just want a little bit of bounce onto the surface to protect that surface. So having this rubber mallet is awesome. Now, the one thing I like about this is, like I said, is it kind of replaces this 8-ounce hammer. And I use this 8-ounce hammer for a lot of stuff. But now I have my steel hammer and my brass hammer that is pretty much my go-to when I'm doing disassembly and reassembly. I've officially retired this hammer. It's up in my wife's toolbox. I had to actually go up to the garage to go get this out of her toolbox so that way I could do the filming, because it comes with a smaller one as well. And this is, roughly the same size. But the advantage I have with this one is I also have that steel and that rubber mallet as well. So this gives me a really versatile setup. One of the things I like about this setup is I can use the same hammer for both my steel and my brass and my nylon, because when I'm doing it with my old hammer set is I have my 8-ounce hammer and then I use this small tapper hammer, and then the head is just smaller and it's not as balanced as this, and it gets a little weird to handle this when you're going back and forth on weights. Now you can see with this hammer that I've hit off center. It's because I'm so used to working with a larger head of this 8-ounce hammer that when I hit, it'll be off center, and you're trying to rush and get through things, but you're still trying to be safe, because that's why I'm using the nylon instead of a steel. But what's really nice about this set here is that I can just switch out one of these heads into the nylon, and then I'm using the same hammer that I'm used to using. That way the balance is still there. I'm going to hit straight on, and it's just going to work out better for me. The other advantage of using the Wheeler hammer over this old one that I've had is actually in the grip. Now, this is a knurled grip, as you can see, which is really good for gripping. It's not going to slip in my hand. But what I don't like is that as you start working through the day, your hands get tired, and that knurling will eventually just irritate my hand. Whereas with the Wheeler, I have this rubber handle. So that way I'm just used to having that rubber handle. I get a good grip. You can see the rubber goes farther, where this knurling is only down here at the bottom. So I don't get the full grip of the knurling. So this is just a little more ergonomic for me and a little easier for me to work with. Now, obviously, if this hammer is too big for what I'm working with, I can use the smaller one as well, because it also has the rubber and the steel tips as well. If I were starting this channel over again, would I buy this Wheeler hammer set instead of buying a full set of ball peen hammers and this tapper hammer? Yeah, I would, because I have this full set of hammers, and you'll see them right up here up on the pegboard, and I only use 1 or 2 of them instead of the entire set, which can basically be replaced by this Wheeler hammer set. So does this hammer set have a place on my pegboard? Actually, it kind of does, but doesn't really, because there's no way to really hang this on a pegboard. I have a shelf that I'll put up that it'll sit on, but it's not going to actually hang on my pegboard, but it does have a place on my pegboard, and probably over time you'll see those ball peen hammers disappear because I just don't use them that often. Now, is this the end-all be-all of gunsmith hammers? No, but this is a really good choice if you're starting off because it doesn't cost a lot of money, but you still get a lot of quality out of it. If you're going to do gunsmithing professionally, you're probably going to go up in your quality of your tools, but this is a good way to start. Is this the cheapest hammer set that I've seen for gunsmithing? No, I've seen some really awful ones, especially on eBay, and even this one's not that great, but it's lasted for a while. It's not that bad, but there are better options out there if you're going to be doing gunsmithing for a living. If you're just starting off gunsmithing or you're doing a hobby gunsmith or home gunsmithing, this is a great way to go. This hammer set is probably going to last you a lifetime just because it's got enough quality to do that. Will this live up to the day-to-day use in a gunsmith shop? It probably will. And this is a good place to start if you're just starting off and you don't have a lot of money. In professional gunsmithing, you're going to want to use the best quality tools that you can buy. And this is a good balance between quality and price. I'll have a write-up at Gear Report for this hammer set in the next couple of weeks. Look for that article to see the pros and cons of this set and make the final decision whether this is for you. Thank you for watching. Hope everybody's staying safe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.